Yo, what is up folks, TG here with a pretty exciting deck for Pioneer and Explorer Magic the Gathering Arena. I do still have to make that distinction. Hopefully in a couple of months those things will be completely aligned. We'll get Pioneer Masters and it's just Pioneer on Magic the Gathering Arena. And in paper. But for now, here we are. Elves is one of my favourite decks. I made a bazillion videos on it across the various formats that exist on Arena, and in paper I've done some modern stuff as well and played it a bunch of modern. But we got a new elf in Duskmourn, kind of under the radar. We got Tyvar the Pummeler. 1 green for a 3/3. Tap an untap creature you control to give it indestructible. Okay, some nice protection there. But 3 green creature you control get +X turn to turn, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. It's not Azuri, you're not getting trample, but it's still another kind of like big pump effect to kind of give you, alright, I've got some elves in play, let's kill you with them. And this is kind of what we need to end the game. There are a few other ways that we have. Elvish Warmaster here is really good at going wide, but its ability to give you Elves +2/+2 and gain Death Touch costs 7 mana, which is a lot. 5 is a bit more affordable. Also makes it possible to double activate it. One important thing to note is you're double activating it. Say you just have Tyvar as your biggest creature, it's the 3/3. The first time it'll give it +3. The second time it'll give it +6. So you obviously will double the double number. So it makes that kind of nicer. In general, 5 is still like a couple of mana elves plus your 3 lands. Okay, cool. But then how many, if you're like tapping your elves, how many creatures you're attacking with? And that's why like the 7 number is just really hard to achieve. And it's also why we have to play things like Circle of the Dream Druid. This card is very weak. It is like the most powerful thing we can do on turn 2, just playing this, because if it survives, we probably win the game. The problem being that it doesn't survive very often. There are other lines that you can go Elf into Elvish Warmaster into Elf, and all of a sudden you've got like 4 creatures in play, have a big board, and then can start playing Lords like Leaf Crown Visionary. But Circle of Dream Druid kind of enables everything that deck's trying to do. And like Marwyn here is like a smaller version of that also beats down a bit. That's fine. We're basically slotting Tyvar in alongside Warmaster, alongside Shaman of the Pack as a kind of other win condition to nuke our opponent for the number of elves in play. As another win condition for the elf deck. Try and keep the deck a bit more consistent, and again, lower cost to activate. So, Warmaster's 7, Pummeler's 5, and again, you can double activate this for 10, you can double activate this for 14. How are we getting the 5? Like I said, tapping our early mana elves means we're not really attacking with many creatures. And so, for this build of elves, I'm totally leaning into Nykthos Trintonix. The full 4 copies, which, while sounds cool, is a bit of a liability. I already mentioned Circle of Dreams Druid, we kind of have to play this. I think you do still have to play it, and obviously you can put it into play off of Company, Collector Calling, and not have to worry about the green. With Nykthos in particular, it does make it a little awkward to cast. So that's one kind of little clash that we can run into. But hey, the power of Nykthos is very clear. It's established. The rest of the mana base is like very strong. We've got a couple of caverns in here. Everything else can cast green mana. That's fine. We've only got a few other black sources to help with Shaman. Obviously we've got the caverns and the Secluded Courtyards as well, so that should be fine. No real issues there. I'm still 4 in on these. I should say, we've got 4 Warmaster, 4 Leaf Crown Visionary, with 2 Tyvar, and 4 Shaman of the Pack, as a kind of like win condition. And obviously we can find these with Cord and Collector Company. Leaf Crown Visionary plays an important role in this deck, in that, versus some of the slower decks, more controlling decks that want to go 1 for 1 removal, later on in the game you can go, I'm going to play a Leaf Crown Visionary, and then start drawing cards off of it, and just kind of like, if your opponent's playing 1 for 1 removal, they will just lose. That will happen, you'll be able to card advantage them out. It also enables you kind of, when you're going off, you have a lot of mana from Nykthos, or you have a lot of mana from Circle of Dreams Druid, just kind of draw through your deck. You find one of your other win conditions. Super nice. Collector Company, Quarter Calling, just kind of hold everything together. Super solid. Mana base. I'm also got a sideboard here. Because we are playing Quarter Collector Company, we get to play some Silver Bullets. Night of Dusk Shadow is a personal favourite of mine. This stops our opponent gaining life. This is partly because I really hate Angels, but also there are some. It used to be much more relevant when Amali was a deck in the format, but it's still like a nice one to have in the sideboard and have access to. Especially on Arena, the Angels deck is actually still very popular, and probably should get played a little bit more in paper too, but is not very interactive, and so people tend to stay away from those like kind of linear strategies unless they're very aggressive. Misery Shadow is a really nice one versus Sacrifice. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile instead. We have some Absolute Balos versus Aggro, or also they come in obviously versus the kind of Waste Not decks like the Liana the Veil. You play Shape Sanctuary alongside Vivian Munster's Advocate. The Shape Sanctuary again, those decks trying like kind of 1 for 1 removal us, and things like Phoenix as well. We're going to draw cards every time they target our creatures, which is card advantage throughout the game. Vivian as like a 5 mana thing that we can kind of like put into play off a couple of elves. Gives you an army in a can. Not only does it let you cast creature spells from the top of your library, but it also just takes up and starts making beasts. Just super solid. You land this versus the controller decks, you're probably going to win the game. Through Reclamation Stage, obviously it is an elf, blah 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 blah, but obviously you can tutor for this with Quarter Calling, you can collect a company into it, it plays into the elf game plan. Bunch of things that we can hit with this, most notably things like Temporary Lockdown, but there's a bunch of valuable stuff. Also, I should say as well that Enigmatic Incarnation has started to see a bunch more play, and that's a really nice piece there. And lastly, 2 Scavenging Ooze, graveyard decks. You probably also build them in versus aggro just to give you access to some kind of life gain. But hey, I'm gonna play some best of 3. Been a while. No, I do switch between best of 1 and best of 3 a bit. I thought, hey, we'll give the Elves deck a best of 3. I decided what I want to try out. Actually, see how good this is. I'm looking at playing with some paper as well. So hey, if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. Would really appreciate it. Share the video around. All that algorithm stuff would be awesome. And let's hop into some ranked matches. Alright, into best of 3 with Elves. We do get to be on the play. Giganta deck on the other side. Oh, this is so awkward. If this is a Lana or Elf, we would like be able to snap this off. But here, I think we actually do mulligan because we're not doing anything the first couple of turns. We can't cast this. Okay. This is solid. I'll keep this. I'm just going to put the Ogre on the bottom so you don't take damage. Like, likelihood is they're playing an aggro deck. There's a slight chance of some kind of like transmography high build or like Phoenix, but I'm happy enough like this. And just Spirit Sentinel's a pretty dead giveaway. Like, all that being said, our hand's not like super strong or anything. Okay, half our hero. Sure. I was like, do I want to tangle this? I want to threaten this out of this? I think I just do. There's just no way of blocking these. Not with the way I am. Like, so we block, we just lose game. Ish. Okay, I'm gonna face that Monstrous Rage. Black Red aggro deck can get you very quickly. This is one of those matchups where the stopping your opponent's creatures from actually dying, getting them exiled from play is actually super important. Yeah, they're gonna Reckless Rage here. It doesn't give them another counter, but it does get my creature dead. Alright. These round Duskmourns can go very quickly. We could just be dead to this turn. Because the, like, fling effect triggers its own ability as well. This only needs to be, like a Titan Strength would basically do it. I'm gonna no attacks. It's obviously not free damage. There's a good chance we don't block though. I feel like I'd probably bad with it. Just reduce them that we need to hit to like finish them off. Our hand was like a little too slow. Like the Sentinels are not actively good. They're like what we have to do to get like a 9th through 12th. 1 drop. Okay. So now we're at 11. They've only got 2 cards. Okay, halfway here is actually probably decent for us. Doesn't really matter should we do it, right? I'd rather block with Lana or Elf, wouldn't I? We're gonna end up having to block. I'm gonna work out what would be better to chord with. We're not really gonna get to chord. Going in for 2, that's not terrible. Okay, so when these die, they do damage to each opponent. This is currently representing 4 without the Sling Switch off. If they have any 2 instant sorceries, we're basically dead. We can block this without it dying, but it's got trample. This kind of looks like lethal. I hope the other card in hand is dead. That'd be good. Okay. One other thing just Spirit Sentinel is good for. We can block Slingshot Shot off. If they have a trample, I thought we just dead here. Do we go to 2? We have another blocker for this. I think I just block this now to get it off the board. It does make a big one of these, but this doesn't have trample in itself. Oh, for a minute I thought that other last card was another. Okay, you now have access to a lot of mana. I was close to lethal. I'm gonna pass. We're at 2 life. Like, it's looking awkward. For sure. We need the Sentinel to block with. The problem is that they have that cantrips. Second Slick Shot. It's either mana. I have 5, right? Okay, it makes 3. Wrong one. We can get Tyvar and then we can activate that. Are we dead now? They're at 17. This stats for 3 mana. And Flings is always gonna be alright. We just have to hope they just lose, right? We have to hope they draw like literally nothing. Yeah, we should have left. Ah, that feels bad. Oh, it doesn't have trample by default. Of course it doesn't. Moron. We also died at this ability. Oh, this is so bad. We don't have a way to block this either. As I say, say no blocks, you won't hit. Yeah, we're dead. Alright. Game 2. That was close, that was close. We nearly managed to claw our way back. Ah. Nearly. Okay, so versus this version of the red deck, the Misery Shadows are not terrible. I don't necessarily want to play 2. Bring 1 in as a target to stop their die effects. It's not a terrible idea. On these obstinate Bailoffs, and versus this red deck, I don't like the Shape of Sanctuaries. There are some cases where it's like more traditional stuff where we want these, but they're so interested in targeting my creatures. The other thing I was considering is the Scavenging Users. Obviously, they can gain life. In terms of what we want to cut, these Shamans we can trim down on. The Gingers, we still kind of have to play to untap with it. We don't have time really to build up Marwyn, and the Dwynen's Elites are also a bit of a reliability. Maybe we've won for like a steady situation. But I think that's fine. The Sentinels, while they were like almost MVP there, we're not quite there. I'm gonna trim the Marwent. It's a bit of extra noise. And maybe, yeah, I think we do get rid of this. We'll try and run it with these. That's an interesting one. You never want to like deal yourself down. Like shocking to play the 4th land or something. It's not. But hey. Yeah, unfortunately, we'll be on the. Like, hey, we got land or elves into the thing. The mulligan. And this is a not great keep. We're gonna keep this. Nykthos game? Yeah. I mean, potentially. The problem with both the problem with like effects that like need you to keep permanents in play versus red is that they will try and remove those permanents. Is a problem. We're kind of relying into like drawing into good cards here. But right. Oko counts as a good card. Don't mind that at all. I'm gonna play the Scavenging Ooze out. Like if they spend the time killing this is fine. But this is gonna give us pips for Nykthos as well. Swift Spear gets a counter. It might be a case that you want to race them. Okay, they're gonna anger onto this. No blocks. Take 4. No 15. Double KK. This is going even on mana at the moment. Main phase cast this. This can attack, but we might want to have to. I'm gonna swing with these. I'm gonna do this. This potentially gives us like extra mana to eat something with Scavenging Ooze. So the Kamano's kind of like negates this, which is just another good reason to just slam it. Okay. The company right here. Let's see what we have. Double Warmaster is pretty tempting. Warmaster plus Tyvar is really good as well, especially given that we have Eagles in play. And for that same reason, Warmaster plus Tyvar plus Leaf Grounder. Very interesting. I'm gonna take these two. I'm gonna skip it up. Yeah, the Tyvar gets to block some like block this like free. Again, Tyvar's really good at blocking. Unless it's blocking something that's got trample, and when it dies, it deals damage and stuff. I kind of like the way we've set up here. Recommendation stages are interesting, actually. I didn't think about it before. Take the monster roll off as well. I don't want to load up on them, but it might be worth having them. Like, are they going to be better than any of the cards we currently have in? I think 2 Shaman's like a solid number. We could again like go, alright, we're going to go down to 1 Shaman just to make room for this. I think that's what we do. This seems like a... Right. Again, the Scavenging Oozes are also like a little suspect. It's like what we have access to in the board. Scavenging Oozes are mostly in the board for graveyard stuff. Greasefang, Phoenix and the like. Okay, we'll keep this. Because I don't bolt my Elvish Mystic hand, for sure. Channeler. I'm really happy that this card is good. I don't love this deck because it is like somewhat degenerate, but I'm glad that card in particular is good to see him play. Alright, we're gonna hurt ourselves to play the Dream Druid. Our plan is that this list lives and we can use it to kind of help us to state we're winning the game. We're still gonna get to play Nykthos with the Cycle Dream Druid in play. That helps a lot. That might not happen, given our opponent's eyeing it up, but hey. They want to cast their free spell off the challenge and they have to channel out, they have to. The problem is we're taking like 7 here right now. With this we're actually taking 9. which is not feeling good. But I think that is where we are. Alright, we have Nykthos. Here's an elf. Here's an elf. We have a quarter calling. Let's hope it's a good one. Yeah. No attacks. Go. Alright, we're on 5. We're gonna have to survive a lot here, probably. But okay. One's just ready. Let's see what they hit. Land's maybe the worst. Land is the worst thing for us. I think they might not have had one. They're looking at Llanowar Elf. They're looking at Llanowar Elf. They're looking at Etching. So I think our plan has to be something like block like this. If we're cording for 2, we want to cord for 3, which is all of these, so we won't be able to use it. Okay. 8. What do we have? We're gonna get Tyvar, activate Tyvar. And the plan is for us to make us immune to any, like, trample shenaniganery. You've got so much toughness in front of the creatures. Our party can still actually do a lot of our sideboard here. If they have like a monstrous rage, they can use it to get rid of the Circle of Dreams Druid, which maybe stops us from turning them back. And they've not done yet that, which is almost a redder flag. We got Heartfire Hero. Oh, with a counter. No, okay. We're at 5. I think we can do this. Nykthos. This one. Activate Nykthos. Activate. GG's. Good times. Oh, close one. Alright. Yeah, our first match is like maybe the best showcasing we could have at Tyvar, because we had like multiple scenarios where we just wouldn't have been able to win the game without it, or would have just lost without it. That was kind of sick. Go ahead and keep this. Opponent's on the play. Again, a Gigantha deck. We might be playing against Aggro again. I didn't check our last opponent's username. No, okay. Different Gigantha deck. Alright. We get to Mystic into Warmaster Mystic, which is pretty good. And with the Nykthos as well. Ooh, okay. Oh golly, Aetherworks Marvel. Well, normally I like to cheer for myself in videos. However, Marvel is so sweet. I just did a couple of different builds, I think, but I haven't done the updated one in a while. I've not actually done one with the new energy cards either for like historic or timeless. That might be sweet. It's not going to be good enough for timeless, but historic maybe. What do we do? We can rebuild from this, which is wild to crazy to say, because normally we cannot. It's also really awkward for us to try and rebuild from. I'm gonna play this. Yeah, I guess we do this. Okay. So they can now sacrifice this, and then next turn, well, more likely they play a Aetherix Marvel here, and they sacrifice this. I'm trying to think, is there any way they could not be playing Marvel? I don't think so. There are also nowadays enough ways you can use to search for it. Harness Lightning, yeah. Fair. Fair. Using us in exactly the same spot. But yeah, there are a couple of different like green ways, like with the invasion, to like search for permanent cards, which we didn't have before when people were trying this stuff out. It's still like a little bit slow for the format and doesn't stack up well versus like creativity or transmogrify. That's in terms of like, hey, if you can be doing these things, you can be doing these things. But they are going to get to spin the wheel next turn, and there's not really anything we can do about that, fortunately. I mean, I guess we play the Visionary out. You can play this deck a bit more toolboxy if you want to. One of the, like, in best of one, you almost have to play a bit more toolboxy, because not having access to Reclamation Sage can be pretty backbreaking. But in best of three, I think this is fine. You could have, like, main deck Reclamation Sage, main deck, like, Realm Walker. Okay, they missed. They're going to get another spin next turn, which means we do not have a lot of time. Can we go... No. You have to pay actual green to this, which is another kind of downside to this situation. Yeah, we need to draw some stuff. Keep this one. Activate it. We just gotta. We're living on thoughts and prayers at the moment. Alright, we do into a shaman. Sure. Okay. Oh, I passed. We could have quartered for one. So I think that would have been mostly bad. We need some like incredible combination of things to go right here, and for them to like get greedy with their Marvel. Last time they just missed. They can't miss that many more times. And they're gonna get one activation off this. When they sacrifice this, they'll get 4 energy back, so they need a couple more, like a Harness Lightning, that kind of thing would put them up there. You black mana. What does that mean? All right. Okay. Okay, interesting. Prax is not like GG. Oh golly. I'm gonna eat my words for sure, because that Ugin is pretty good, depending if they have a couple more lands to cast it. Here I think so we can see now like kind of the kings are playing. So they have like multiple of these Into the Fires. They're really good in this deck in particular because you can use the second mode to put cards from your hand on bottom and draw that many, which can like put your targets back into your deck effectively. Ulamog Ugin. Ulamog is the classic, just like activate Marvel, nuke 2 lands, like go is the classic. Okay, they just Into the Fire. Yeah, GG here. I will call this one done. Let's go to game 2. Sweet. Okay. I want these copies of Reclamation Sage. The way I hate to say it, maybe one of these Vivians. We want to keep speed up. This gives us some resiliency versus the rest. We can't really afford to play around them because the deck just will just get us. These cards and these cards, if similar reasons. I'm going to cut this Marwyn pretty much like every time when sideboarding. It's a bit it's just in our deck it's mostly a worse version of Cycle of the Dreams Dread. And it's like the 5th copy of that effectively. It gets bigger, but it's slower, and it can beat down, but like not for a while. Bringing Shamans was all quick scheme to get them dead. I think like I'm doing something like this. The problem with this is that kind of cutting down on, we're lowering our curve a little bit. Basically, we're bringing the Vivians in for Super the Wreath Visionaries. These are quite slow. These help insulate us versus Wrath effects. But other than that, they both do the same. Like, they're both giving you card advantage. And then we're cutting the Divine Deletes for the copies of Reclamation Stage. That's how I'd like compare it. Roll this up. Like, Rec Sage to let us destroy the marble should hopefully like give us the edge of the matchup. That's the main thing. We'll keep this. We have access to like pretty powerful draws still. Like here we're gonna go Mystic into Cycle Dream Druid. They can have a Harness Lightning. Totally reasonably might. Okay. If they don't have like stellar removal in hand, then they're leading with Aether Hub, which is not generally a good sign. They got like Grafton's Cage? Oh, they're gonna bolt the bird. I'm gonna play it. This is not great. I'll play this on Elf. Didn't have a red source. Like for them, ideally they're playing like a Puzzle Knot here. They do have one. If they get to go like kill our bird, play Puzzle Knot, sack Puzzle Knot, Marvel spin, those are gonna be hard games to win. All right, let's get the Druid down. Plan here is that if we have time, what I really mean is if this lives, they'll attack it if they will pass it straight away, which is interesting. They can afford Fatal Push for that mana base. Okay, this is kind of interesting. So I'm like, do I main phase this? The reasons to main phase it: kills Puzzle Knot. Reasons to not main phase it: it's only killing Puzzle Knot, and we're like playing into a Wrath. I think we do this on our own step. And then if we hit a Reclamation Sage and have to target this, then we will do that, and they'll sack it in response or whatever. But let's see. Puzzle Knot. Okay. I put them to 5. Yeah, it feels a while. Maybe there are more black sources than I think. They're already relying on Fable Passage as a mana base though. Alright, we do hit like we hit Reclamation Sage, but we do not want to Reclamation Sage either. We don't really want to Sage either of these. Them having one is enough for them to get the energy count needed. We'd probably rather just have the mana. When I say probably, I mean we'd rather have the mana. Ooh, double Shaman's interesting though. Just go Shaman draw without committing to the board. How do we save Shaman? Let's see what we draw here. Interesting. Okay. I hate it. You have access to a lot of mana next turn. This is kind of like, hey, you have a turn to interact with us here if you want to. Attune's interesting. They go like Attune for Swamp. We just want to dodge a sweeper, right? We just don't. We can't afford to really play around one here because they have the energy. So yeah, they Attune for Swamp. They got the mana they need. They can shut down the Visionary. They can shut down War Master. They're okay. Bit of Triumph's interesting. Kind of fine though. Put green here. Cast that. Hey. We're like starting to assemble somewhere close to lethal. I'm gonna save this Orange Mystic and just attack here. Yeah. We're not gonna threaten, like, this hand will threaten lethal next turn still. The problem is that we can't somehow get to lethal this turn, and we don't have a way to interact. So alright, this is interesting. What do you target here? They have a Nulamog. We don't have loads of options. Yeah, they're at 7. We can get hit by Ulamog. That's fine. Not my main concern. That comes to 5. If they have an Aether Hub, they get to 6. That's rough. Again, we don't really able to do anything there. Or if they had a Fable Passage, they also get to. That is not the draw we're looking for. I mean, the life gain's a problem. They're not attacking though. Next time they get to have another spin. Can't lose to everything. Be like Coco Chord. Does anything change? Not really. I mean, we more than anything need them to miss on this marble flip. I was trying to work out if we attack here, get 3 damage, and gonna do it. Yes, they have a way to get their life back, but keep their life total like within hitting distance. Also, we kind of need to weigh that up versus Tyvar as our way out. Alright. They're up to 9 energy. Let's. Come on, no whammy. No whammy. No whammy. No whammy. Come on. Please. They're thinking. That can't be good. Not even gonna look what's gone. Alright. We got a little flooded here, but hey. There's nothing I'd rather lose to than Marvel, to be honest. Oh, Golos. This deck was really sweet. Alright. And I was worried when we saw Gigantha we were going to face the same deck twice. Well, the downside to best of 3 is that we can't fit many matches in a video. However, these were 2 pretty sweet ones. Had a pretty clutch game versus the red-black deck. If you're interested in that Rakdos heroic deck as well, I do have a video on that on the channel. Is very, very strong. Maybe one of the best decks in the format. We have the North American regional championships going on this weekend, so we'll see what comes out of that. But the deck performed really, really well. I should also say that the Marvel deck is super, super sweet. If you want to see more Marvel stuff, let me know in the comments because I will happily do a new video on Marvel in Explorer or even Historic. Again, there's some fun stuff with the new energy cards. But yeah, As for the Elves, Tyvar actually performed super well. And in fact, if we'd like hit a Tyvar instead of like the other things there at the end in the game versus the Marvel deck, we might be able to find a win condition. We got a little flooded, and game 1 we got blown out heavily by the artifacts. But it was like the one thing that kind of like carried us through the match versus Black Red. So super impressed with this. As far as the shell goes, like just the Sentinels are awkward. I do like having at least 2 of them. Having 10 1-drops is a solid point. The next 2 after that I think are like pretty flexible. These 2 Dwynal Elites are kind of flexible. But I like all of these. Similarly, like the Marwyn's kind of flexible. I did try like in best of 1 playing like a 4-core build with more Dwynal Elites kind of to enable the cores and enable Tyvar a bit harder. That's something that's like has some merit to it, I think. And you can play like Reclamation Sage, like, and Realm Walker is another good target. Is one word, right? Yeah. This thing lets you cast Elves on top of your library. Budget Aladamri. Aladamri is not illegal in this format. Yeah. The deck is super sweet. Realm Walker is another card you could put in the sideboard here. It does kind of similar things to Vivian, but Vivian not being a creature itself puts it over the edge in my opinion. There are more decks that like use sweepers and that don't 1/4 removal. Like when Rakdos mid-range is really good, Shape of Sanctuary is great, but when like blue-white is really good, this gets a bit worse. So that's an interesting sideboard piece. Didn't see Sacrifice, but like I think having 2 each of these is like a little suspect. You can cut down to one of these pretty easily. I like having 2 so I can like have more chance. You can just naturally draw into one of them. But this is mostly because I just hate playing Ace Angel. And getting to nuke all the Sacrifice decks on ladder is also really nice. But hey, kind of personal preferences. Deck is really good. Tyvar absolutely overperformed, was brilliant. If you've got any ideas, suggestions, do let me know in the comments. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do like, subscribe, share the video around. It would help me out a ton. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you soon. Have a great day.